We are live, Sunday night live at 7. I'm Derek Gant, and I am the money coach. Excited, as always, to bring you some information that might make your week just a little bit better. You know, that's what I'm here to do, is here to make your life better, to make your week a little better, to make today a little better. You know what? If we get a little better every day, 365 days, we got something going, we got something brewing. And I tell you what, if you can get better every day, I promise you, you will never be the same. Hey, listen, I'll be right back. We're going to kick this off in a couple seconds. I'm saying that most people quit before they ever get what they really want. And it's not just about quitting. It's about not being tenacious enough to follow through, to build the momentum you need in order to get you where you want to go. So you got this snapshot, you get this picture, this idea in your head, and you say, this is where I'm going and what I want to do. But what you don't have in your head is a full out plan, a complete strategy to get you there. Hey, if you're not following me on YouTube, you should do that. Derek Gant 24K, Derek Gant 24K on YouTube. Now, we are going live right now on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram and Facebook. If you would like to say hello, which I would greatly appreciate, then please click the little link that says allow StreamYard access to your information, and then StreamYard will allow you to not only say hello, but it will also give me your name, and I can see who you are, where you are, what you're going, and the hearts are already pumping. I love it. Thank you. Good evening, Tara. Good evening, Rashawn. Tonight, we're going to remind you, tonight's just a reminder of getting your ish together. It's to keep it together. We are talking about resetting, recalibrating, and recommitting. Now, it's a little early in the year to be talking about recommitting, but let me tell you something. I told you this before. Hi, Danetta. How are you, my dear? I hope you got my email. I want you in my little circle. So just a FYI, if you didn't get it, hit me up later. But, you know, it's never too early to remember that in order to make an incredible change, okay, in order to make an incredible change, you have to build some momentum. It's the 22nd of the year. Happy birthday, Jamie. It's the 22nd of the year, 22 days in. Are you on track for what you see for yourself this year? I'm not big on resolutions. I'm big on taking action today, action tomorrow, and action the next day. But why are we talking about reset, recalibrate, and recommitting? The reason why is because sometimes, let's take each one. You know, you hit that reset button, so I'm going to reset and start over. Okay, hit the button and start over. Like today is the first day. So we're going to hit that reset button. And while we're doing that, we're going to recalibrate. So if you know anything about cars, I know that much about cars, but I do know they have a timing belt. And if they're not calibrated right, the car won't run smoothly. You are a machine. I'm a machine. We are a uniquely made, incredible machine that God has made and put us together. And if you're not operating properly, if you're not getting the right amount of sleep, if you're not eating the right foods, if you're not studying to improve yourself on your expertise, if you're not calibrated right, you won't produce amazing results. Hey, listen, I see more and more people jumping on. Make sure you say hi. Tell us your name. I want to see you. I want to acknowledge you. I want to know that you're here. I want everybody to tell me where you're from. If you're from Atlanta, I got a couple of people from Atlanta. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your name. Tell us hi. And so what we're talking about is we're talking about resetting, recalibrating, and recommitting to what we want to do. So I need to ask yourself a question. Was last year like the year before? Was last year like the year before? Hi, Selena. Was last year like the year before and the year before that? Now, it's not the same for Selena. She just got a house. So she's already on that right trajectory. Selena, I should be telling your business. I'm sorry, but I'm so happy for you. Got a new house. So If last year, the year before that, and the year before that, because some of you, I tell you what, when your Facebook history comes up and you see that picture and you're wearing the same clothes and you're doing the same things and you're in the same mindset, you didn't do something right. You got to change the way you think. Now, you all know me. I'm the money coach. I manage millions of dollars for people. I've done it for 30 years. And I'm telling you, the way people with money think is completely different than the way 85% of the population thinks. That's why most of the population has no wealth, and a very small percentage of the population has all the wealth. They aren't better than you. They're not better than me. We think differently. We don't think spend, spend, spend. We think grow, grow, grow. We think, how can I get my money working for me? How can I get other people working for me? How can I get things, resources, applications working for me? Not how can I go buy another house, another car, another trip. Those are all great in their season, but we got to do better. So we're talking about resetting, recalibrating, and recommitting to ourselves. So as I told you, it's almost the end of the month, and you have to understand that, you know what, if you don't make this month different, if you don't finish strong, if you don't finish on top, then this month is like last month and the month before that. That's not going to give you a winning recipe. And I'm telling you, if you want to win, you've got to build some momentum. That means that you have to eat clean today, eat clean tomorrow, eat clean the next day, and 14 days later, you will start seeing some results. 14 days later. We are so instant gratification in our society. I'm going to eat healthy today, and I expect the scale to drop 10 pounds when I get on it in the morning. Not going to happen. You got to build some momentum. You got to build some steam in order to elevate yourself. So let me tell you, it's the end of the month. We need to hit the reset button. Do you know why you feel like you should have more? Do you know why you feel like you should be doing more? And you just can't understand because you know you were built for greatness. You know you were built for greatness. Hi, Tiara. You know you were built for greatness, but for some reason, you just can't get there. Do you know why? I mean, there's a reason why in your heart, in your head, in your being of your soul, you know that you have more to offer the universe. You know you have more to offer the world. You know you're supposed to be in a bigger and better space than you're currently in. You know you're not supposed to be living check to check. You know you're not supposed to have 20 grand a credit card debt, but you can't seem to get there. You're stuck. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you. If you don't know why, I'm going to tell you why. AB, what's up, AB? How you doing, man? The reason why is because you take too many L's, right? You take too many L's. Do you know what an L is? An L is a loss. You take too many losses. You got to start having some wins. You got to build some momentum on the win side. You have to trick your brain into always winning no matter what you are doing. So how do you do that? You have to make sure that you take off smaller bites of responsibility. She called me professor, the money coach professor. I used to be an associate professor. So here's what happens. You wake up in the morning, and as soon as you hit the snooze button, you just took an L. Because you just told yourself, I'm supposed to get up, I'm not going to, and I'm going to lay here for 5 more minutes, not honoring what I set for myself to do, which is to get up at a certain time. That's called an L. If you take an L straight out the bed, what do you think your day is going to be like? What intentions are you setting for your day? Then you get out of bed and you don't make it. You don't make your bed. You don't work out. You don't stretch. You don't pray. You don't meditate. L, L, L. So you're setting yourself up for losses. And then you wonder why it's so tough to get going. And then you also wonder, why does it seem so easy for them to get up? Why does it seem so easy for them to always be at the gym? Why is that so easy for them? They must be a morning person. They have to be special. Bull. They're not special. They started taking small L's, right? And they turned them into big W's. So you take those W's and you say, I'm going to get up when I say I'm going to get up. I'm going to work out when I say I'm going to work out, or don't do it. If you're going to hit the snooze button, just set the alarm clock for 5 minutes later and then commit to yourself to get up and let your feet hit the floor. Hit the floor, roll it. So that's the first thing. You got to stop taking these L's. You got to stop promising things that you don't commit to. So we call it promise breakers. Don't be a promise breaker. Be a promise keeper. And the way you do it, hey, Delisa, the way you do it is to stop promising. I stopped promising over 20 years ago. If somebody wanted me to do something, I'll do my best. I won't promise. I will do my best, but I won't promise. And people that know me in my inner circle will get all up in my grill and they go, do you promise? Do you promise? Because they know if I say I promise, it's gold. It's 24K gold. If I promise, it's gold because I don't make promises. When my kids were younger, I didn't promise them anything. I was planning on taking them to Cedar Point. I didn't tell them I was planning on taking them to Cedar Point until it was time to go to Cedar Point. Don't make promises you can't keep. Because when you do that, when you break your own promise to yourself, what happens is that you create anxiety for yourself. You can't trust yourself. You don't honor yourself. And if you don't love you and you don't trust you and you don't honor you, you won't honor anybody else. And then they don't want to be around you. They don't want you in their inner circle. I'm breaking this down for you. This is all about your money, all about your mindset. We're trying to get the money mindset to be recalibrated, but we got to recalibrate the little things like getting up and not taking that L first thing in the morning. Promising yourself you're going to go to spin class. Roro was in spin class. It didn't matter if it was 5 a.m. It didn't matter if it was 6 a.m. If she said she was coming, she was there. And that's how she was able to drop over 50 pounds, honoring herself. So you wonder why you're so anxious, why you're stressed out, why you can't get your blood pressure down, because you don't honor yourself. You don't tell yourself the truth, and therefore you don't tell anybody else the truth. You don't trust you. They don't trust you. What you going to do? You got nothing to do. So I'm telling you, reset, recalibrate, and recommit to yourself. Stop promising. I don't promise me nothing I'm not going to honor. I promise myself I'm getting up at 4:44, and I put my feet on the ground. And you know what? On my phone, they give you an option to hit snooze or not. I don't even have snooze on my phone. I don't even give myself the choice to hit snooze. I'm getting my tailbones up. Okay? So make sure that you do that. And you can change it. Just recalibrate, but honor whatever it is you're going to say. So here's the second thing that you need to do. You got to stop negotiating with that little bitty inside. That inner bitty, the itty bitty. Stop negotiating with that person. Well, if I do this, then I probably can do that, and I might. But next time, no, stop breaking your own deals. Don't negotiate. If you're going to get up at 4:44, get up at 4:44. And when that little itty bitty is the second thing after the snooze or the alarm, that itty bitty, that inner itty bitty is the one that's telling you, you cool, you cool. We get up in 5 minutes. Who cares? You care. You just didn't know it. You didn't know why you was feeling the way. You didn't know why you got this potential and you couldn't reach it because you're not honoring yourself. And you honor yourself in little things, you honor yourself in big things, right? If you can do the little things, God will give you bigger things. But you got to show yourself worthy of handling the little things in order to get the big things. So listen, I was trying to get my first investment property. I was 21, 22. And I went to the bank. And I was talking to the banker, and my boss, who's multimillionaire, he set up this appointment for me with this banker. I went over there, and they were like, hey, man, everything's great. Your cash is great. Your money's great. Everything's good. But you got this little itty-bitty thing on your credit report. You owe somebody $200. Or it wasn't even $200, but let's just say $200. It was less than that. And I was like, okay, like, what's the big deal? And he was like, bro, the way the bank looks at that is that if you won't manage the little things properly, we ain't going to give you $125,000 to buy this investment property because you're not going to manage that any better. And I was like, wow, mindset. What's your mindset? What's your car look like? What's the inside of your car look like? What's your closet look like? Because you know what? That's what your mind looks like. What your car looks like, and your mind and your closet looks like, and your cabinets that you open up, what that looks like, that's what this looks like. Clean that out. Clean it out. You need to be crystal clear. You need all, in this world of all this noise, you need as much clarity as you can reasonably get so that you can hear what he has to tell you so that you can take the shortcut instead of weaving through all that bull. He's talking to you. Are you listening? He's talking to you. Are you listening? Right? But you can't listen when you're playing all that crazy music. You can't listen when you won't stop talking, when you won't stop scrolling, when you won't stop TikToking, looking at people fighting and all that other nonsense. Cut that nonsense off. Listen, I'm so proud of myself. You guys don't care about this, but I do. So this week, I got my iPad. I put all of my social media on my iPad. I took all of my social media off my phone. And every time I was in line waiting for something, I'd go to my phone to see who was doing what or whatever, and I didn't have it. I'm telling you, freedom from all that nonsense. So then I started thinking about what's next for me, what's next for my clients. I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you to do it. Just maybe you take one off. I'll tell you what you do. I did this years ago. I started with taking the notifications off. So I don't get a message if somebody hits my Instagram or sends me a message. Even if I don't get messages for email. I have to manually go look at my email. So when I'm running my day, when I'm commanding my day, I have times that I'm going to go check my email. It's just not dinging all day long, stealing my attention. I'm the master of my domain. And that's the only thing that I need to control. When I say, what's up, king? When I say, what's up to me, or I call myself king, it's of my kingdom. Because Rob, you the king of your kingdom. And you set the precedent, boy. You hear me, my man? You set the precedent in that castle. And if you're not setting the precedent in that castle, your house is out of order. And that's what I want to tell these men, right? You got to get yourself in mastery, in order. If you can't control your fork, if you can't control your sleep going out, your tongue, you can't control nothing. That's why your house is crazy. Not Rob's house. Rob's house is cool. Not AB's house. His house is cool. My men that are on here, their house is cool. Tell your boys, get it straight. So how do we wrap this up? I'm gonna give you 6 things super quick that you need to be focused on. Okay, are you ready? Number 1, we're talking about reset, recalibrate, and recommit. Okay. AB, you don't have to thank me for your house being in order. Your daddy taught you, right? That ain't got nothing to do with me. Pastor Bannister set that tone straight out the gate. So 6 things. Here we go. The first thing is to stop talking about your past. I don't care if it was good or bad or indifferent. Stop talking about the past. It's gone. If you had problems, did you know that 1 out of 3 people were abused mentally, physically, or sexually? 1 out of 3 people were abused. Okay. And for those of us that weren't abused, you got less excuses. Stop talking about the past. That's not you anymore. If you was a screw up, that's not you anymore. You get to decide who you are moving forward. That's number 1. Number 2, take radical ownership of everything. Somebody is somewhere and they're upset with you. Just take ownership. Hey, you know what? Sorry you're upset with me. What do we need to do to make sure you're good? Just take ownership. It steals people's steam. It takes all the steam out. When you argue with them and they argue with you, that's what they want to do. They want to take you out your zone. You can't take me out of my 24K zone. Well, you probably could. But let me tell you, I practice and work on staying in my zone of excellence. Not your zone, not his zone, not her zone, my zone of excellence. That's where I like to live. Number 3, I already told you this. Be a promise keeper. Be a promise keeper. Keep your promises to yourself first. And the best way to start is to stop promising stuff. And the few things you commit to that you promise to, own it all the way up. And if you don't do it, own that too. My bad, I didn't get up. I know I should have. We're going to do better because that's who we are. We're trying to level up. If you've ever been stuck trying to figure out why you didn't reach that zone, it's because you haven't created the momentum and the consistency. Number 4, Number 4, stop playing with the chickens and the pigeons. You are an eagle. Do you know anything about eagles? Eagles fly higher than any other bird in the land. And you down on the ground farting around with chickens. It's the company you keep. Stop playing with them folks. You want to be better? Stop playing with them folks that don't want to be better. You're not supposed to be the smartest person in the room, but you ain't supposed to be in a room full of dummies. So you got to decide what room you're going to be in, what group you're going to fly with. You're going to fly with the pigeons. Pigeons they define the pigeon as a rat with wings. You don't see eagles flying in a pack. You don't see eagles flying in a pack. You will never see a pack of eagles. Okay? Number 5, stop negotiating with that inner little bitty. Don't negotiate. Don't negotiate with yourself. If you want to know something a little bit more intense, go Google Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. He talks about not negotiating with himself. When he commits and says, I'm going to shoot 100 baskets and I'm not leaving until I make 100, he doesn't leave, or he didn't leave until he made 100. He didn't negotiate with himself. You can't negotiate with God, and you shouldn't negotiate with you, because God is within you. If you didn't know that, wake up. All right, I know I'm on one. That was number 5. Number 6 is that you got to rewrite your story. You got to rewrite your story. You got to literally decide what you want and write that story. It's chapter 7 in the 24K Life Code. If you have the book, go back and revisit it. A lot of you that I'm seeing are on here hanging out with me have the book. Go read chapter 7. Rewrite your story. And in my story, guess who's the hero? I am. I'm the hero in my story. I'm the king of my castle. And those are the things that I commit to, the things that I can control. Things I can't control, I got to let go. You got to let go. Listen, I want you to have an amazing year. I want you to have an amazing day. I want you to put yourself on a path that when you look back, you go, damn, I did that. I did that. We know that you do all things through Christ. We know that. But you got to still step up. He ain't going to do your work, and you can't do his. So you got to step up, and you got to stay in it, and you got to stay consistently in it. That's why we're running an accountability group. We're running an accountability group. If you want to know more about it, just message me. I'll make sure that somebody, myself or on my team, actually hits you back. You know, if you have any questions, if you're tired of living mediocre, because you got to remember this. Remember this. Roro said something was good. I don't know what she said, or maybe it was Danetta said something was good. Here's something that's good. Average is the enemy. Average is your enemy. Because if you do something average, you're just doing the same-ish everybody else is doing. You weren't born to be mediocre. It's meaningless. Being mediocre is meaningless. Being average is your enemy. And until you decide to step up and be 24K, to be your best. 24K is being your best, living your best, unconditionally and unapologetically. I'm not going to apologize for being able to set it off, for being a great speaker, or for being a good author, or for being a great money coach. I've worked hard to be a great money coach. My team has worked hard to provide our clients excellent service. I gave my assistant, I shouldn't say gave, she earned a raise. She called me and said, we need to check this out. This is where you get in trouble. Last week, we talked about your value. She was watching. She called me on Tuesday and said, she texted me. She said, we need to talk about my value. And I just bust out laughing. And I said, baby, I know what you're worth. Let's talk about it. And we gave her a really good bump because she's worth it. She's worth it. And she asked. You have not because you ask not. So I'm asking you to look inside, to dig deep, to decide that you're going to be the queen of your castle, the king of your castle, that you're going to make no more promises or commitments that you're not going to keep. I've given you the tools on how to get started. And I'll be here most Sundays. We're going to be back on Wednesday talking specifically about your money mindset. Is it poverty? Is it prosperity? Is it a spender? Is it a saver? What's your money mindset, and how can we change that to benefit you so that you attract, so that you manifest what it is that you want? Some of my clients that are even on here now, we changed the way that they're looking at things so that their conversation, so that the energy that they emit to the universe draws in more, draws in better, because that's what we're doing. We are magnets. You are magnificently and wonderfully made. And there's no reason for you to live check to check. There is no reason for you to be suffering. There's no reason for you to be living in financial desperation. You know, people are living quiet desperation. And how you doing? I'm good, man. They ain't got a dime. Couldn't do anything if they didn't get their next paycheck. That's not what we want. That's not what I want from you. We want to set my people free. All right, y'all. If you have any questions, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to hit me up. This Wednesday, I'm going to tell you this while you're thinking. If you have questions, make sure you ask me. This Wednesday at 7 p.m., we will be doing a live Zoom, and I might do it on here, but I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. But for sure, we're going to be on Zoom, and we're going to do a deep dive in recreating your money mindset. If you're interested, direct message me. Send me a message. If you got my number, text me. If you're on Derek On Demand, shoot me an internal message. We do so much inside of Derek On Demand. We're going to set that off this year. We're going to make sure that we get a community of about 300 people that are singularly focused on improving their life mentally, physically, and financially. And we're just going to live it up, because tell you something. The reason why I'm so focused on this is because in 2024, we gonna do something. We're gonna do something 24K. And most likely I got my travel agent already working on Brazil or the Bahamas. She's already working on it. Trust and believe, you got to work on it a year, 2 years ahead. So, but I'm only going to offer that trip to a certain few people that are inside Derek On Demand, that are focused, that are really interested in leveling up. We're going to bring those speakers in. For those of you that have been to my past events, you know I bring in the juice. We bring in great speakers. I don't know everything. I know everything money-wise. Not everything, but I know everything about your personal money and your business. So we are going to set it off in 2024, but we're taking 2023 to position ourselves for that 2024 culmination, that amazing time that we're going to share together. We're going to be doing some yoga. We're going to do some meditation. We're going to figure out how to tap into our inner souls to manifest on a daily basis. Now, listen, if you want to know how I'm able to get so much done in such a small period of time, I use a daily planner. This is Coach Dawn's daily planner. She's amazing. We have our daily planner. We also have 24K life code. So if you're interested in, and maybe you can't afford the one-on-one coaching, that's why I wrote the book, $24. The paperback copies $14. I wrote the book because everybody can't afford to see me one-on-one. Everybody can't afford to see me one-on-one. I understand that. That's why I blood, sweat, and tears and wrote that book, so that you can understand how to set this year, how to set tomorrow off in a great way. So I don't see anybody that has any questions. I love all of you. I want to see you all prosper. Let me tell you this last thing. Let me tell you this last bit. If you don't understand that if you love your kids, if you love your nieces, your nephews, the young people in your world, if you don't understand that it is your responsibility and duty to get your ish together, so because they're watching you, they're going to be just as lost as you are. You don't want them to be 50 and lost. You don't want to be 40 and lost. You want them to prosper and grow with much more ease than you had to go through. So you can't teach them something you don't know. You can't, even if you try to teach them something that you're not living, lost them. My son listens to me because he sees me get up and go to the gym. He sees me reading and studying. He sees me writing these books. He sees me when I'm in my meetings with clients, helping them. You know, sometimes we give service away for scholarship because I want to see you win. I'm an ex-athlete. Ain't nothing better than winning. All right, listen, I'm Derek Gant. Be your best. Bring your best. Leave nothing to chance. You all have an amazing week. Make sure you hit me up. We're going to go Wednesday, 7 p.m. And if you want to be a part of it, then all you got to do is direct message me. You can email me here. You can do all the wonderful things. If you want to hit Derek on demand, you can hit Derek on demand. So listen, I want you to be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance.
This is Mary. She understands the importance of a strong root system. So when Mary lost a tooth, she went to Frankel Dentistry to replace it with a dental implant. Its titanium root is precisely placed and naturally fuses with her jawbone over time for a permanent replacement that's as strong as it is beautiful, just like her smile. Because making you smile is what we're all about.